The title is The Dynasties of the Sons of Manu. First 14 shlokas describes Prasiddra was cursed by his guru, later attains perfection. So in this we discuss how King Prasiddra he killed a cow mistakenly by actually wanted to kill the lion who was attacking in the Goshala, and but because there was no light, proper light, so this mistake happened and Vasishtha cursed him, but despite of his curse he attained perfection. So that was, we have already completed that section. And now the Kavi, the youngest son of Vaivasvat Manu, gave up the kingdom, and then he went to the jungle, forest, for worshipping Krishna. Okay, and in this way he attains perfection. Okay, so that is the section today we are supposed to discuss. Shloka number 15 onwards. Okay. Kavikaniyan vishayeshu nispraho विसृज्य राज्यं सह बन्धुभिर्वनं निवेश्य चित्ते पुरुषं स्वरोचिषं विवेश कैशोरवया परं गतः. Kavi, another son known as Kavi, Kaniyan, who was the youngest, Vishayeshu, in material enjoyments, Nispraha, being without attachment, Visrijya, after giving up Rajyam, his father's property, the kingdom, Sahabandhuvi, accompanied by friends, Vanam, the forest, Niveshya, keeping always, Chitte, within the core of the heart, Purusham, the supreme person, Swarochisham, self-effulgent, Vivesha, entered Kaishora Vayaha, a young man, not fully in youth, Param, the transcendental world, Gataha entered. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Being reluctant to accept material enjoyment, Manu's youngest son, okay, so hear carefully, Vishyeshu Nispraho, being reluctant to accept material enjoyment. Who? Kavi Kaniyan, means Manu's youngest son. What was his name? Kavi. What he did? Visrij Rajyam, he gave up the kingdom. When? Kaishora Vayaha, when he was in the Kishoravastha. Kishoravastha means you can consider like teenage or like, okay, like here, young man but not fully in youth, like that you can understand. Why? Nivesh Swarochisham Vanam Vivesha. You can see the shloka. Nivesh Swarochisham Vanam Vivesha, went to the forest with his friends. Okay. So, thinking of self-effulgent Supreme Lord. Nivesh Swarochisham Purusham. Okay. He, so, being reluctant to accept material enjoyment means he do not want to accept material enjoyment, material wealth, material things. He does not want to accept. So he, Manu's youngest son, Kavi, his name was Kavi, he gave up Visrajya Rajyam, he gave up the kingdom, and when he gave up, when he was Kishoravastha, and he went to the forest with his friends. Saha Bandhuvir Vanam Vivesha. Saha Bandhuvir means with his friends. Vanam Vivesha means he went to the forest. Nivesh Swarochisham Purusham, thinking of the self-effulgent Supreme Lord. Chitte, within the heart, within the core of his heart. What he did? Param Gataha. He attained the perfection. Okay? 16th. पुरुषान् मानवाद आसन् पुरुषा छत्र जातया उत्तरा पथो गोप्तारो ब्रह्मण्य धर्म वत्सलः. So now this is the second section of the chapter from 15 to 36. That is further continuation of the dynasty of Vaivasvat Manu. So first section was about the one son, Prasudra, the one story. Now this is further explanation of the dynasty of the Vavasut Manu. Karushat from Karush, Manavat from the son of Manu, Asan, there was Karushaha, called the Karushas, Chhatra Jatya, group of Kshatriyas, Uttara, northern Patha of the direction Goptaraha, kings, Brahmanya, celebrated protectors of the Brahmanical culture, Dharma Vatsala, extremely religious. From Karush, another son of Manu came to the Karush dynasty, okay, a family of Kshatriyas. So, Kshatriyas who came from this person, they are sometimes called Karush dynasty, Karush ones or Karush Kshatriyas. The Karush Kshatriyas were the kings of the northern direction. They were celebrated protectors of Brahmanical culture and were all firmly religious. Drishta dharstram abhut kshatram brahma bhuyam gatam chitau nirgasya vamshaha sumatir bhuta jyotis tato vasuhu. Drishta from Drishta, another son of Manu, and Dharshtam, a caste of the name Dharshta, Abhut was produced, Kshatram belonging to the Kshatriya group, Brahma Bhuyam, the position of Brahmanas, Gatam had achieved Chitau on the surface of the world, Nirgasya of Nirga, another son of Manu, King Nirga. You might have heard the name of King Nirga. Vamsha, the dynasty Sumatihi of the name Sumati, Bhutajyoti of the name of Bhutajyoti, Tataha thereafter Vasu by the name Vasu. From the son of Manu named Dhrishta came a Kshatriya. So this caste of Dharshta, this is from this son whose name was Dhrishta, whose members achieved the position of Brahmins in this world. Okay, so whose members achieved the position of Brahmins in the world. Okay, so this particular Kshatriyas who are called Dhashtas, they actually attained Brahmanical status. Then from the son of Manu named Nirga came Sumati, and from Sumati came Bhutajyoti, and from Bhutajyoti came Vasu. So this is the further dynasty. Purport. Here it is said, Kshatram Brahma Bhuyam Gatam Chitau. Although the Dharstras belonged to the Kshatriya caste, they were able to convert themselves into Brahmanas. Very important. So this gives clear evidence. Try to understand. This gives, Prabhupada is saying, this gives clear understanding, clear evidence supporting the following statement by Narada 7:11:35. Yasya yala lakshanam puroktam pumso varnabhiyanja kamyad antarapi drishte tat teneva vinirdishet. If, this is a very important thing, many people in India, they are having so much mental idea. So this is to break their mental thoughts. What is that? If the qualities of one group are found in the men of another, those men should be recognized by their qualities, by their symptoms, nor by the caste of the family in which they were born. Birth is not at all important. It's one's qualities that are stressed in all Vedic literature. Because many people think that because his father is a Brahmin, so he is also Brahmin. So that does not support here. And some people think that because he born in a low class family, low caste family, Chandala family, some Shudra family, so he can never become a Brahmin. Okay, but here it is very clearly mentioned, because these people were in Kshatriya, which is second order, and Brahmana is first order, but they were having those qualities, so they were converted into Brahmanas. So the point is here that it is not based on caste. It is not based on birth, it is based on the qualities. The qualities of the person is important, not the birth. One may take birth in a low class family, but if he gets good qualities, he is having good qualities, the association is good, he is developing nice devotional service, he is called Vaishnavas. He knows about the Shastras, he knows about the Brahma, and then he is called Brahmanas. So, like that, it is not based on the birth, but it is based on the qualities. Even the Gita also Krishna says that Chaturvarnmaya sister Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. Guna and Karma, these are the two things on the basis of which Krishna divided 4 Varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra. Okay, so this confusion should not be there, should not at all there. Because many places, even in our classes we have discussed, many places it has come that the things are, the varnas are based on qualities of the person, guna of the person, activities of the person, not the birth of the person. Many examples are there like Valmiki. Okay, so in this way one should not get confused and one should not consider, like, because sometimes even by birth you may say, oh, he's very low class man, but he may be a very highly qualified person, he may be a very great Vaishnava, very good. That's why even though the Valmiki was sinner, he was doing all those things, and but when he started devotional service, chanting the holy name of the Lord, he became pure Vaishnava, and he got the opportunity. The Lord selected him to write his Ramayana. Okay, so that are the glories of Valmiki. So one should be very much alert that one should not distinguish based on birth, but one should see the qualities of the person. 18. Vasho pratikas tatputra Ogavan Ogavatpita Kanya Chaughavati Nama Sudarshana Uvahatam Tam. Vasho of Vasu, Pratika named Pratika, Tatputra his son, Ogavan named Ogavan, Ogavatpita. Who was the father of Ogavan? Kanya, his daughter, also Ogavati Nama by the name Sudarshana. Sudarshan Uvaha married Tam, that daughter Ogavati. The son of Vasu. So in the previous shloka we saw, what is that? So King Vivasvat Manu's son name, one son was Nirga, Nirga's son was Sumati, Sumati's son was Bhutjyoti, Bhutjyoti's son was Vasu. Now in this shloka it is said, the son of Vasu was Pratika. Pratik, whose son was Ogvan. Ogvan's son was known as Ogvan's son was also known as Ogvan, and his daughter was Ogavati. Sudarshana married that daughter. Okay. Chitraseno narishyantat rikshastasya sutok abhavat tasya madhava tasya midhavam statah purna indrasena stutat Chitrasena, one named Chitrasena, Narishyantat from Narishyanta, another son of Manu, Riksha tasya of Chitrasena Suta, the son Avad became tasya of him Riksha Midhavan Tataha from him Midhavan Purna Indrasena too, but Tat Sutaha, the son of him Purna. From Narishyanta came a son named Chitrasena, and from him a son named Riksha. From Riksha came Midhavan, and from Midhavan came Purna, and from Purna came Indrasena. Okay. Vitihotrastu Indrasena tasya satya shrava bhut urushrava sutastasya devadatta stato abhavat. Vitihotra too, but Indrasena, from Indrasena tasya of Vitihotra Satyashrava, known by the name Satyashrava abhut, there was Urushrava Sutta was the son tasya of him Satyashrava Devadatta Tata, from Urushrava abhavat there was. From Indrasena came Vitihotra, from Vitihotra came Satyashrava, from Satyashrava came the son named Urushrava, and from Urushrava came Devadatta. Okay, this is just a simple explanation of dynasty of Manu. Okay, so the different names are given in all the generations. Okay, Tato Agniveshyo Bhagavan Agni Swayam Abhutsutah Kanin iti Vikhyato Jatu Karnyo Mahan Rishi. Tata from Devadatta, Agnivesha, a son named Agnivesha, Bhagavan, the most powerful Agni, the fire god Swayam personally Abhut, became Sutta, the son Kanika iti, thus Vikhyata was celebrated Jatu Karna Mahan Rishi, the great saintly person. From Devadatta came a son known as Agnivesha, who was the fire god Agni himself. This son, who was a celebrated saint, was also known as Kanin and Jatukarnya. Agnivesha was also known as these two names. Okay, Kanin and Jatukarnya. Okay. Tato Brahmakulam Jatam Agniveshyamanam Nirpa Narishyantyanyvayah Prokto Dishtavam Samatashrum. Tada from Agniveshya Brahmakulam, a dynasty of Brahmanas, Jatam was generated. Agniveshyayanam, known as Agniveshyayan Nirpa, O King Parikshit, Narishyanta of Narishyanta, Anyad descendants Prokta have been explained. Dishta Vamsam, the dynasty of Dishta, Ataha Heratrashunu here. O king, from Agniveshya came a Brahminical dynasty known as Agniveshyayan. Okay, so this is another Brahminical dynasty came from this Kshatriya kings. Now that I have described the descendants of Narishyanta, let me describe the descendants of Dishta. Please hear from me. Navago Dishta Putronya Karmana Vaishyatam Gataha Bhalandana Sutastasya Vataspritir Bhalandanat Vatsprite Sutah Pramsus Tatsutam Pramatim Vidu Khanitra Pramates Tasmat Chakshusho Atha Vivimasatihi. Navaga, by the name Navag, Dishtaputra, the son of Dishta, Anya, another, Karmana, by occupation, Vaishyatam, the order of the Vaishyas, Gatam, Gadaha, achieved, Bhalandanaha, by the name Bhalandana, Sutaha, son Tasya of him, Navag, Vatsapritihi, by the name of Vatsapriti, Bhalandana, from Bhalandana, Vatsaprite, from Vatsapriti, Sutaha, the son, Pramsu was named Pramsu, Tat Sutam, the son of him, Pramsu, Pramatim was named Pramati, Vidu. You should understand, Khanitra was named Khanitra, Pramate from Pramati, Tasmat from him, Khanitra, Chakshusa was named Chakshus, Ata, thus from Chakshus. Vivimsati, the son named Vivimsati. Dishta had a son by the name Nabhag. So this Nabhag is also very famous. This Navag, who was different from the Navag described later, became a Vaishya by occupational duty. The son of Navag was known as Bhalandana, the son of Bhalandan was Vatsapriti, and his son was Pramsu, Pramsu's son was Pramati, Pramati's son was Khanitra, Khanitra's son was Chakshus, and his son was Vimsati. Okay. From Manu, one son became a Kshatriya, another a Brahmana, and another a Vaishya. Okay. From Manu, one son became Kshatriya, another became Brahmana, and another became Vaishya. So now you can understand one father, but three sons, one became Brahmana. Sons were many, but here three sons are explained. So one became Kshatriya, one became Brahmana, and one became Vaishya. So this confirms the statement by Narad Muni. Again the same. Yasya yal lakshanam proktam pumso varnavi anjakam. One should always remember this. One should always remember that Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas should never be regarded as member of caste by birth. So this is not by birth. Okay. If it is by birth, then how this three son is becoming different this varnas? Father is one, but if it is by the birth, then three son, one became Kshatriya, one became Brahmana, one became Vaishya. So a Brahman may be changed into a Kshatriya and a Kshatriya into a Brahmana. So Brahman, he can become Kshatriya, and Kshatriya also can become a Brahmana. Okay. Similarly, a Brahman or Kshatriya may be changed into a Vaishya and a Vaishya into a Brahman or Kshatriya. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagsha. So one is a Brahman, Kshatriya or Vaishya never by birth. So if one is if one considers oneself as a Brahman or as a Kshatriya or as a Vaishya only because he is born in such family, that's not a point here. That's not right. Okay. That's why Prabhupada is writing that one is a Brahman, Kshatriya or Vaishya never by birth, but by quality. It is by quality that one's varna will be decided whether it is Brahman or Vaishya or Kshatriya or whatever. So there is a great need of Brahmanas. Now Prabhupada bringing another, his mood, his mission, that there is a great need of Brahmanas. Therefore, in the Krishna consciousness movement in ISKCON, we are trying to train some Brahmanas to guide human societies, because it is Brahmanas who will guide the human society. That's why the head of the society is Brahmanas. Brahmanas are considered the head of the society because the brain, the mind guides the people. The head dictates whole body. So the whole societies will be guided by Brahmanas, the pure qualified Brahmanas. Because at present there is a scarcity of Brahmanas, the brain of human society is lost because there is no Brahmanas at present situation. Whoever are there, they are just so-called Brahmanas. They consider themselves Brahmanas only because they are born in Brahmana, but they don't have any qualities of Brahmanas. That's the problem. So, there is no Brahmanas, so there is a scarcity of Brahmanas. So when there is no head, Brahmanas are considered the head of the society. So when there is no head, suppose the body don't have head, what is the use of the body? So that's why when Brahmanas are not there, that means head of the society is not there, then there will be chaos in the society. So because at present there is scarcity of Brahmanas, the brain of human society is lost, because practically everyone is a Shudra. No one at the present moment can guide the member of society to the proper path by which to achieve perfection in life. Because mostly everyone is Shudra, so nobody has that ability to guide others. Because to guide others, this ability only Brahmanas have. Nowadays everybody is having this inclination to guide others, but they don't have any qualification to guide others. Because any incident, any event is happening, you will see 10, 100 people will come to guide you. You should do like this, you should do like this is right, this is wrong, like that. Many people will come and they will guide you. Okay? But who is having the true quality, true qualification to guide others? That is the point. So a person who is qualified or bona fide and who had the scriptural knowledge, that person only can guide. It's not like anybody guide. Because guidance should not be given out of one's mental concoction or one's perception. Because everyone is having 4 defects. Okay, we should know that all the humans are having 4 defects. Okay, what is that? Senses are imperfect. So due to imperfect senses we get illusion, and because of getting illusion we commit mistake, and because of committing mistake we try to hide the mistake by cheating. So that is the cheating purposes. These are the 4 defects all the humans are having. So if I am thinking that I can guide you this, I can guide this person because my mind says this, because I know this and this that, then there is a problem. Because if you guide a person, then there is a chance that your 4 defects will affect the guidance. So you may mislead the person, misguide the person. So a person should not guide others based on his mental concoction, mental speculation, but he should guide others only based on the scriptures or based on the Guru, Sadhu, Vaishnava authority. Okay, that's why that is from the person who guides. But what is the side of the person who are seeking guidance? So the people who are seeking guidance, they should be alert to check that who is a bona fide guide, bona fide leader, bona fide spiritual master, and then this will be so nice relationship. Okay, so now presently practically everyone is Sudra, so nobody can guide others, no one has that ability. So a person who is actually a person who is taking guidance from bona fide Guru Parampara, from bona fide scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, that person can guide others. Okay, so that's the point here. Okay. विविंशते सुतो रिंभा खणिनेत्रोऽस्य धार्मिकः कर्णधमो महाराज तस्यासीद् आत्मजो नृप. Vivimsate, from Vivimsati, Sutta, the son Rambha, named Rambha, Khaninetra, named Khaninetra, Asya, from birth. Dharmika, very religious, Karnadhamaha, named Karnadhama, Maharaja, king, Tasya, of him, Khaninetra, Asit was Atmajaha, the son Nripa, king, the son of Vivimsati was Rambha, whose son was the great and religious king Khaninetra, O king of the son of Khaninetra was King Karnadhamma. तस्या विक्षित सुतो यस्य मारुतस्य चक्रवर्ती अभूत संवर्तो अयाज्ययत् यं वै महायोगी अंगिरः सुतः तस्याफिं कर्णधाम अवीक्षित named Avikshit Sutta, the son yes of whom Avikshit Marutta, the son named Marutta Chakravarti, the emperor Abhut became Samvarta, Aya Jayat, engaged in performing sacrifice Yam, unto whom Marutta, why indeed Mahayogi, the great mystic Angira Sutta, the son of Angira. From Karandham came a son named Avikshat, and from Avikshat a son named Marutta, who was the emperor. The great mystic Samvarta, the son of Angira, engaged Marutta in performing a sacrifice, Yajna. Okay. Maruttasya yatha yajyo natan tathanyo asti kasyana sarvam hiranyamayam tava asid yat kinchit chasya shovanam. Maruttasya of Marut yatha as yajna, performance of sacrifice, na, not, tatha, like that, anya, any other, asti, there is, kashana, anything, sarvam, everything, hiranmayam, made of gold, too, indeed, asi, there was, yat kinchit, whatever he had, cha and asya of Marut, sobanam, extremely beautiful. The sacrificial paraphernalia of King Marut was extremely beautiful, for everything was made of gold. Indeed, no other sacrifice could compare to his. So, this is about the glories of King Marutta. Okay, so he says that the sacrificial paraphernalia of King Marutta was extremely beautiful. The sacrificial paraphernalia means the items which are used in performing yajna, for everything was made of gold. Indeed, no other sacrifice could compare to his. Amadayad Indra Samena Dakshina Bhir Dujatayo Dujataya Marutaha Pravishetaro Vishvedeva Shabhasadaha. Amadyat became intoxicated. Indra, the king of heaven, Lord Indra, Somena, by drinking the intoxicant, Somrasa, Dakshinabhi, by receiving sufficient contribution, Dvijataya, the Brahminical group, Maruta, the ears, Parivestara, offering the food stuff, Vishvedevaha, universal demigods, Shobha Sadaha, members of the assembly. In that sacrifice, King Indra became intoxicated by drinking a large quantity. So this King Marutaha, he performed a sacrifice. Everything was so auspicious, so opulent. The paraphernalia were made of gold. So in that sacrifice, King Indra became intoxicated by drinking a large quantity of somrasa. The Brahmanas received ample contributions, and therefore they were satisfied. For that sacrifice, the various demigods who control the winds offered foodstuff, and the Vishwadevas were members of the assembly. Because of the yajna performed by Marutta, everyone was pleased, especially the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. Brahmanas are interested in receiving contributions as priests, and Kshatriyas are interested in drinking. All of them therefore were satisfied with their different engagements. Marutasya dama putrastasya siddharajyavardhana sudhrityastsuto jagye sudhrityeyo narasutaha. Marutasya of Maruddamaha dama putra, the son tasya of him. Asi, there was Rajyavardhana, named Rajyavardhan, or one who can expand the kingdom. Sudhriti was named Sudhriti. Tatsutaha, the son of him. Jagye was born Sudhrityaha, from Sudhriti, Naraha named Nara. Sutaha, the son. Marutta's son was Dama, Dama's son was Rajyavardhan, Rajyavardhan's son was Sudhriti, and his son was Nara. Tat Sutaha Kevalas Tasmat Dunduman Bhagavamsh Tataha Buddhastasya Bhavedyasya Trinavindur Mahipati. So here all the kings' names are coming. So whoever are important, that story will come. And like that, this whole Vivaswat Manu dynasty will be explained in this section of 9th canto. And then at the end and near the end, Bhagwan Sri Ramchandra pastime will come, because Lord Ramchandra also appeared in this dynasty. So one should not think, why these many names are, whose son is whose son is, what is the use of this? Baba, this is the dynasty of Lord Rama. So we should know at least who, because what maximum modern days kids don't even know what is the name of father of Lord Ram. But few people may know Ram's name, father name Dasrath, father name. Whose father name? Like that, if you keep on thinking, we don't know. Okay. So this is the whole dynasty is explained here. Okay. And same way, what about Krishna? So that is Chandravansa. So that also will be explained. So these two dynasties are so glorious that the most exalted, most supreme personality of Godhead is coming and accepting these dynasties. Lord Ram, Sun dynasty. Lord Krishna, Moon dynasty. Okay. So this that's why Sukadeva Goswami is explaining all these details, because it's very less time. Parikshit Maharaj had only 7 days. So within 7 days, whatever is maximum, that has to be spoken. With whatever is very, very important, that thing only will be spoken here. But he is explaining about these names, his son, what is the use? There is a use. That's why Sukadeva Goswami is explaining. So one should never think whatever came out of Sukadeva Goswami's lotus mouth, one should never think this is not important. Sometimes people think, oh, this section of Bhagavatam is not important, this is important. Everything is important, everything is Bhagavatam. Okay, because many people read only one section again and again. They do not go in another section. So everything should be considered equally. Okay. I mean, this is to understand that one should not neglect by saying, oh, it is nothing, just like that. Because if Sukadeva Goswami considered it to be important and he explained it, then it is important. Okay. Tata Sutaha, the son of him, Nara Kevalaha, was named Kevala Tasmat from him. Dunduman, his son was born named Dunduman. Vegavan named Vegavan, Tata from him. Buddha named Buddha, Tasya of him. Avad, there was Yasya of him Buddha. Trinabindu, a son named Trinabindu, Mahipati the king. The son of Nara was Kevala and his son was Dunduman, whose son was Vegavan, Vegavan's son was Buddha, Buddha's son was Trinabindu, who became the king of the earth. Tambeje Alambusha Devi Bhajaniya Gunalayam Varapashara Yataha Putra Kanya Chelavi Labhavat Tama Him Trinabindu Bhaje. Beje accepted as husband Alma Busha Devi, goddess Bhajaniya, worthy of accepting Guna Alayam, the reserve of all good qualities. Vara Aspraha, the best of the Apsaras. Yataha, from whom Trinabindu, Putra, the some sons, Kanya, a daughter Cha, and Ilavila, named Ilavila, Abhavat, was born. The best of the Apsaras, the highly qualified girl named Alambusha, accepted the similarly qualified Trinabindu as her husband. She gave birth to a few sons and a daughter known as Ilavila. Yasyam utpadayamasa visrava dhanadam sutam pradaya vidyam paramam rishir yogeshwara pituhu. Yasyam, in whom Ilavila Utpadayamasa gave birth Vishrava, Dhamdam, Kuvera, or one who gives money, Sutam, to a son, Pradaya, after receiving Vidyam, absolute knowledge, Paramam, supreme Rishi, the great saintly person, Yoga Ishvara, master of mystic yoga, Pitu, from his father. After the great saint Vishrava, the master of mystic yoga, received absolute knowledge from his father, he begot in the womb of Ilvila the greatly celebrated son known as Kuvera, the giver of money. Okay, so this Kuvera, some people worship Kuvera, no? They say Kuvera, who is the treasurer of devatas. So this Kubera is born here. He is the son of Vishrava and Ilvila. Okay, so Vishrava is also father of Ravana. Okay, Kumbhakarna or others. विशाला शून्य बंधुश्च धूम्रकेतुश्च तत्सुतः विशालो वंशाकृद्राजा विशालीं निर्ममे पुरीं. विशाला नेम विशाला, शून्य बंधु नेम शून्य बंधु च also धूम्रकेतु नेम धूम्रकेतु च also तत्सुता the sons of Trinabindu. Vishala among the three among the three king Vishala Vamsakrita made a dynasty. Raja the king Vaishalim by the name Vaishali. Nirmame constructed Purim place. Trinabindu had three sons named Vishala, Shunyabandhu and Dhumraketu. Among these three, Vishala created a dynasty and constructed a place called Vaishali. Okay. हेमचंद्रासुतस्तस्य धूम्रराक्षसस्तस्य चात्मजः तत्पुत्रात् सम्यात् आसीत् कृष्णाश्वः सह देवजः. Hemchandra was named Hemchandra Suta, the son Tasya of him Vishala. Dhumrakshasa was named Dhumrakshas Tasya of him Hemchandra cha, also Atmaja the son Tatputra from the son of him Dhumrakshasa Samyamat from the who was named Sanyama. Asit there was Krishashwa sa along with Devja Devaj. The son of Vishala was known as Hemchandra. His son was Dhumrakshasa and his son was Sanyama, whose son were Devaj and Krishashwa. Two sons. Krishashvat Som Datto Abhut Yo Sweme Dhere Idaspatim Ishtva Purusham Apagrayam Gatim Yogeshwarashritam Samudhattistu Sumatis Tatputro Janmejaya Ete Vyashalo Bhupala Palash Trinabindur Yashodhara. Krishashvat from Krishashva Somadatta son named Somadatta Bhut. There was Yahi Somadatta Ashwamedhai. By the performance of Ashwamedha sacrifice, Idaspati unto Lord Vishnu, Ishtva after worshipping Purusham, Lord Vishnu Apa achieved Agrayam, the best of all, Gatim, the destination, Yogeshwara, Ashritam, the place occupied by great mystic yogis, Somadatti, the same, the son of Somadatta, two birds, Sumati, a son named Sumati, Tatputra, the son of Sumati, Janmejaya was named Janmejaya. Vishnu, by worshipping the Supreme Lord, he achieved the most exalted post, a residence on the planet to which great mystic yogis are elevated. The son of Somadatta was Sumati, whose son was Janmejaya. All these kings appearing in the dynasty of Vishala properly maintained the celebrated position of King Trinabindu. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the ninth canto, second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Dynasties of the Sons of Manu. Okay, so here the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, canto 9 is completed, and the chapter 3rd is the marriage of Sukanya and Chavan Muni. Okay, so this chapter, in continuation of description of descendants of Vavaswat Manu in Srimad Bhagavatam 9.3, Shukdev Goswami described another son of Vavaswat Manu, Sharyati, Maharaja Sharyati, King Sharyati. So this will go on. It will have like around 9-10 verses. So this marriage story is quite interesting between Sukanya and Chavan Muni. Okay. In this, actually Chavan Muni is very old, but out of his yoga power he will become very young man, and like that. And the chastity of Sukanya will be also proven here. Okay, so and then further in this chapter further we will discuss about the descendant of Maharaja Sharyati and marriage between Revati and Baladev. So you may heard that Lord Balaram, his name is also Revati Pati. Okay, so how Lord Balaram got married to Revati. So that story will come here in this chapter 3. So chapter title is the marriage of Sukanya and Chavanmuni. So this chapter we shall discuss tomorrow. Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. If you have any question, comment, kindly ask.